Okay, we've got the Stranger Things music in the background. Okay, I've just chosen this playlist. It's called Stranger Things Songs in Order. Seasons 1, 2, 3, 4. The non-soundtrack track. Oh, Guys, I can't find any playlist of Stranger Things. That's just the whole songs. So we're just kind of going with the best one I can find, unfortunately. And today, that's all we're going to talk about. I'm going to do a quick recap of, in my brain, the important events. I probably won't get into the details of certain things because I'm kind of giving you context for the things that matter most to my theories or predictions. But who knows? Now, fair warning, I've been on Stranger Things Twitter. Had many little things that don't sit quite right with me. And scrolling through Twitter and seeing if anyone else notices them. Some people have, some people haven't. Let's address them. I think we're going to start from season 1, the very first episode. Some thoughts, some feelings. I think Elle escaping confused me about why she could escape and none of the others could. Did she just have crazy powers, or... I don't think that's technically shown in the first episode. I can't remember fully because all the seasons kind of merged in my head, but I'm going to kind of go chronologically to the best of my ability. And we know Callie, number 8. So many thoughts about her. I'm very curious if she'll pop up in the last season, I'll be honest. My predictions. I'm going to start with my predictions and then I'll tell you the theories behind them. And then a recap of why. My favourite prediction is Will Byers being some sort of connection to the Upside Down. A lot of people say it's powers, but I think it's going to be slightly more like... In my head, you kind of have Vecna kind of powers, and then Elle kind of powers. Whereas Elle can kind of control so many things telekinetically, and can go into people's minds. But when she's in the Upside Down, we actually don't see her do any of that. It's almost like she can't, or if she does, she has to put so much effort into doing it. Whereas Vecna, we haven't really seen him in the real world loads, and he did have those kind of powers. Yes, he could do the L powers, but in the Upside Down, he can control the vines, the Demogorgons, so much of this with his own mind. I don't know, that interests me a lot, and I'm like, I think it would be a really cool way to have, considering how high the stakes are. I don't see a world where they are able to properly take this out unless someone's on the inside, and I think that someone has to be Will. I also, this is a crazy theory, I think Elle unknowingly did something a little evil early, possibly before she even broke out. I think we're going to get an Elle kind of monster arc, because in my rewatch I kept going like, wow. I kind of think it would make so much sense if it turns out Elle did do something that powered up Vecna more than just opening the gate, but I mean something bad. Whether that's, I don't know, somehow looking or unknowing a spy, or... But I feel like there's gonna be something, some sort of twist that'll make her seem like a bit of a bad... It was a bad choice by a good person. And then I've got a feeling that's what's going to throw her off her game, because I feel like we ended season 4, she was locked in, you know. I feel like Elle needs to go out like a little bit of a tumble, and that's how it ends up a bit messy. And I think it would also be really cool to see Elle accept her own mistakes. I feel like that's the one thing I just need to see from her, because so often she'll just hold it in her heart, especially at the end of season 4. It was, she didn't do it, and she was struggling to handle that, and she's now putting all of her attention to... I think that's a really good theory. I think that's almost guaranteed to happen, that something will throw her off. What I'm really curious about is Dustin and Lucas, because I think so far I can kind of tell where everyone's arcs is going from the trailer. I think Will's going to be an unknowing spy or somehow connected to the Upside Down, is dealing with Vecna. I think Mike's going to be really stepping into the leader role, keeping everyone together and on it. I think Lucas is going to be, or Mac's duty, he's going to be dealing with his guilt and that. But Dustin's in such a weird position right now where I don't know where you could logically take his character to make it make sense. I think he's going to start grieving, he'll be grieving Eddie 100%. I reckon he's probably going to get bullied quite badly considering he's still wearing the Hellfire shirt. The Hellfire shirt, which people think was made by a murderer, like, he will still be getting bullied. I don't think the others would be as much, but I'm curious. Oh, something I was thinking about is Elle going to school? I assume not. I assume they still be like, that's a Russian spy person, kid, and they're not going to take her. But then is Elle just no longer in education? She was like in it for a bit in season 4, but besides from that, I just feel like we don't see her in school at all learning. And that's part of the reason why I feel like she's so disconnected from the other kids. Is they're all at school, they've all got lives. I don't think Elle kind of has that. I think she's right now so focused on defeating Vecna that it's like an obsession, and that's part of the reason why I think they won't kill her off. I beg they don't kill her off. I just feel like she's constantly been in this fighting mindset. And one time where she did get to go to school in season 4, she gets bullied and hurt, and I'm like, give my girl a break. You know, something I did see brought back up was Steve, Jonathan and Nancy love triangle. God, do not put me through that, please. I don't need another love triangle. At most, I would like an episode or 2 of tension. At most. But Jonathan and Nancy were so made for each other, and I think part of it's also, for me, I think it's so insane. I believe it was like the characters obviously got together, and then the actors got together, and then the stunt doubles got together, and like I think it's one of the dub voices also got together, and it's like that's the literal definition of like I'll find you in every universe. Are you kidding me? I think for me, I'm always a real sucker for things like that, and I don't want to get too paranoid, but I definitely think like I also put myself in the position of them, and I thought if I was dating like this person for 10 years, and we met on the show, and you make our characters break up in the show in the final season, I would crash out. I would be so unbelievably annoyed. Like, we fell in love on set, and you made our characters fall in love, and it was such like this amazing. I feel like it'd be such an amazing point. I just don't want them to break up, and this is weird music. I don't want them to break up. I don't love that, and that's partly me just being like, I really like the actors, and I don't want that to like spill into too much, but it is one of the few things where I was like, when I started learning that, I was like, I can't help it. I can't help but have a little smile on my face, a little giggle, because I think it's just so sweet. And I also just love I fell in love with Jancy before I even found that out as well, which is insane. But I definitely think either that or Nancy just ends up single. Do not make her get back with Steve. I beg you. I think genuinely I would rather, okay, I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna say I'd rather Steve and Robin go together, but no, I wouldn't. I hope Robin and Vicky are in like a really good place in their relationship, because right now it's like I feel like they would get together. I feel like they could get together over the time skip, but how is Vicky gonna be in the loop about all the upside down stuff? Because if so, then I think they're fine, but if she isn't, I can just imagine so much tension building and Robin being like, yeah, well, can't say this right now, I need to go fucking save the world, but she can't say that, and I don't want that whole like jumping through loopholes to be like a big part of the story. I am really curious if we're gonna get a Robin and Will parallel, you know, have my girl and my girls hanging out. I am really curious if Dustin is still dating Susie post time skip, because I wouldn't be that surprised if they say like, oh, he's grieving, so they're not going to. Because let's be honest, I feel like they kind of have to. Like, I don't see. I would love for them to stay together because I do actually really love their relationship. But are Dustin and Susie meant for each other for life? I don't know. We haven't seen enough of that, I feel like, and I don't know if they'd make a relationship endgame if they haven't had enough time to really let it breathe in the show. And you know what? Let's get controversial. Let's pull one out that no one's talked about. Byler, Mike, and 11, and Will. Would you? I never know. 11 is that Mike and 11? Mel, 11, and Byler. We need to talk about it. I think it's probably the most controversial thing in the Stranger Things fandom, and my honest opinion on it. I think Will 100% likes Mike. Elle 100% likes Mike. I feel like maybe there's an asterisk on there, but she definitely has liked Mike. However, in my honest opinion, what I think would happen was none of them end up dating each other. It would be a bad payoff for a typical love triangle. However, no matter what route Stranger Things goes down, it's going to cause so much mayhem and so much drama. It's either going to be labelled as a queer baiting show or a show pandering for queer people. And that's either going to be from the gays or the straights, let's be frank. And I'm weirdly at this middle point where I'm like, I think it could be an amazing representation. However, they have one season. They have limited hours. They have so many other storylines going on. If they're not going to do it effectively, I would rather they just didn't do it, to be completely honest with you. Because then it's just going to fuel those stereotypes that people have that queer people ruin shows. And that if you pander to queer people, you're going to ruin your show. No, that's... I mean, if storylines are bad, yes, but that'd be the exact same for any relationship. That's why I don't want Steve and Nancy to happen. And I was watching, you guys know that one podcast? The one podcast where it's like a hat guy, and it's like, who cares, you do that, those two? They've been rewatching Stranger Things recently, and I've been keeping up with their TikToks, because I can never form a full opinion about them. One day I hate them, one day I'm like, oh my god, you so get me. You're finally like voicing my opinion. And then some days I'm just like, I've never felt so horrifically disgusted by what you just say, you know. Very, very controversial opinions between. However, they were talking today, and I just thought, there's no sign, Mike, of being queer. And I say, you don't fully see them on your first watch because you're not meant to. For me, I didn't ship Byler at all. And season 4 came around, and I was like, oh, so Will definitely has feelings for Mike, right? And I rewatched it to see if Mike had feelings for Will at any point or if there was anything going on. And it was in the rewatch that I was like, I see this. I could see this happening if they gave it room to breathe. And I also think that the Byler rewatch guy, he was going along my journey with that, and then seeing him do it as well, I realised this massive break would give a lot of people good amount of time to rewatch and decide whether or not they actually ship Byler when they are looking for signs of it. And in saying this, I also want to clarify, looking for signs for things in a show doesn't necessarily mean it's, what would you describe it? It doesn't mean it's, you can look for signs for anything in shows and find stuff, but it's 100% based on your personal view, yes, and your biases going into it. However, I think if enough people agree and can pick out different points and there's enough patterns, writers need to look at that and do something with it. spoiler will be addressed this season. There's no way it isn't. I just don't know how. It's... how will they address it? Don't know. It could be Mike and Eleven breaking up and leaving as an open ending, which I think people would either love or hate. I think they could... they could do a lot, honestly, and get away with a lot. But would they? That's the biggest question. Oh, I love the song. We need to let it breathe, I think. And I think we will probably know by volume 1 what direction they are going in. Because I believe, yes, it's 4 episodes Thursday, 3 episodes Boxing Day, and 1 episode on New Year's. I don't know if it's split 3-1 or 2-2. I'll need to check, but I've been focused on volume 1 first, and I want to hear the soundtrack really bad. I want to see what direction they go in it. And I'm scared just because Netflix as a brand kind of has this reputation of fucking sucking at writing endings. They tend to be really, really bad at it. And I don't know. I mean, my biggest comparison for that, I will always go to Netflix original kind of Squid Game's ending. Kind of sucked, let's be honest. They never actually fully ended it, and they were like, well, we're going to make it international now, and I thought, it kind of ruins the point for me personally. I don't love the fact about that. Another big one, The Umbrella Academy. God, that caused ruckus. I remember actors were kind of speaking bad about it. Different people on the set were kind of chatting shit. Obviously the viewers hated it. It was so controversial. I don't know what led them to do any of the decisions they did. Like, who okayed it, who... someone just in a really high position was just had their own power fantasy and almost went, how can I ruin the show? That's what it felt like. I'm trying to think of any other shows that ended recently that are somewhat relevant here. It's generally known it's either Netflix will cancel the shows or just write really bad follow-up seasons and really, really bad finale seasons. I think something else I'm really scared about this season is they kind of introduced a whole new character with this bully character as a kid. I assume bully's probably Erica. This, to me, he feels a little too gimmicky with the bright colours and he also just introducing a character like this in the last season. I don't love it. I don't love that whole concept. But you know, I guess there's nothing I can do about it. I'm actually thinking now back to the first 5 minutes, because I've actually not rewatched that since it first came out. I'm kind of saving it for my big rewatch on Thursday. I think it'll be a well-balanced focused season. I think I could see, I saw someone trying to make a theory on Twitter about whether all 5 seasons are about 5 different characters, which I could see. You know, I would say season 1 would probably be about Mike. Season 2 could honestly be about Dustin or Lucas. I could see either. Because I would say season 5 was about Will, in my opinion. However, it really depends on how they write Lucas and Max in season 5, because then they could take over the season 100%. I think season 4 was Max's season, let's be completely honest. Max and Elle's for sure. I was actually really surprised. I actually learned it the other day. They were going to write Max out, actually. in season 3, they were going to make her basically disappear because she wasn't that well liked in season 2. And I've never been so shocked in my life, because considering Sadie Sink is almost such an important face for especially season 4 of Stranger Things, even season 3 too. I think without Sadie Sink, those 2 seasons would have been completely different, and so much, like, she added so much to those seasons. The fact she was almost written out in season 3, it's crazy, especially considering they introduced her because they didn't have enough females on the cast, and she was written out because she was only written with men. And I thought, that's just not a character issue or an actor issue, that's a you issue, you could fix this. And they almost wrote her out, which is insane. But oh, Max for season 5. Predictions. I think I could see them using like sound frequencies to stop the Demogorgons or something, in a way like music helped. Maybe there's specific things, sounds, something that can almost stop different upside down creatures, which I think could be really cool, but I'm not confident on that. I think Max definitely will be in a headspace somewhere like Dimension X or the Upside Down, or she will be mentally just somewhere in another plane, and she will have a fight with Vecna, and will probably try and save someone in Vecna's mind. Whether this is Elle, Holly Wheeler, I don't see it being Will, or Vecna itself away from the Mind Flayer, which I don't like. I don't like that one. But I think it could be really cool if it was Elle, because when Elle went into that mind space to try and save Max, Max then did the same for Elle. That would be a really cool parallel for me, and I think it'd almost be like repaying the favour. However, I could also see it being Holly, because I'm pretty sure episode 2 is like the disappearance of Holly Wheeler. I'm pretty confident episode 1 will end with a Demogorgon going into the buyer's house, ripping shit apart, taking Holly, and going away, like disappearing. And either Ted or Karen will die. Probably Ted. I think he's an insignificant character enough that they can kill him off in episode 1 without worrying. I feel like Karen Wheeler, you would need to do it a little later. She's just a lot more impactful. And I also think back to the conversation in season 3 with Nancy, where it was like, I don't know where you get your strength from, because it's certainly not me or your father. And it's like, no, I get it from you, Karen. And it's like a really nice moment between Karen and Nancy where, like, it's almost compared that they're both very, very strong fighting spirits. And I think that's very cool. Again, I think that's part of the reason why I think she's 100% going to be like, chill, fine. I think Joyce, I fear for you. I really do fear for your life. But I don't think they would kill her off, purely because it would cause mayhem. It would cause such a ruckus, an uproar from the general public, that it's no way. No way. And I also think we could touch upon I would really love to see a bit more on Robin and just her feelings and relationships, because I just feel like it needs a little bit more room to breathe. If there's like a time skip and we miss the whole trying to get into a relationship thing, I still want it talked about in season 5. I don't want it to just be left where it is. I need at least a little bit more from that for me to be like satisfied. I am curious about the full extent of what will happen in episode 3 or 4. What's it called? The sorcerer one? That one really interests me, because I think it's episode 4 that is. Episode 4 of Stranger Things tends to be banger fucking episodes. Like, I think almost every single episode 4 is one of my favourites of the season. Which is why I'm like so excited, and it's such a cool name. So I'm like, it's fuck yes, all excited for it. I kind of am my only things right now with Elle. I am at a bit of a, well, we know most of the stuff from our past, and we kind of know most of the just now. We need to learn a bit more about our future, ideally. I feel like we don't quite know enough. Oh, Queen. Who wants to live forever? Oh my god, what song was in season 5 that was in the Umbrella Academy? I think We're Alone Now, bro. That song could make or break the season for me, because I absolutely love that song since I first heard it on the Umbrella Academy season 1. It was one of my favourite. I think it was my most listened to song last year, or like up there. They better not fuck this up for me. They better not fuck this up with me. Okay, they fuck with me, I'm going to like riot, okay? I'm just very nervous for it all. We need to see how it plays out. I will probably do a review on Thursday. Maybe Friday. I will see. I will see. It just depends on what I'm doing. It's 24th today. I'm having a very, very busy week this week. And next week. And the week after that. And the week after that as well, Jesus. My next quote-unquote free period will be Christmas, like the week of Christmas. The next month, I think I have something I need to do every single day. But I'm trying to be like, get on top of it so I can just take more days to just do nothing. Because I do want to try and get Dispatch done. Play Dispatch eventually. I'm lining up a couple of games, I just don't know what to do on Christmas. What's a fun Christmassy game? I mean, I could see an unpacking stream, but I kind of wanted to save that for New Year's, just because it is typically a New Year's game. We could do Resident Evil. I don't think. Oh. Whoa. This is a crazy song, I'm sorry. Oh, we could do Firewatch this week. I know we started Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, but it didn't drag me in as much as I thought it would. I wish I could just do Stranger Things on stream. Because I will just be binge watching it for hours. I will admit. But I'll see. Damn, guys, how good is Resident Evil? I've heard of Resident Evil 4. I believe I briefly watched that. Oh my god, these games are beefy, bro. I don't even have that much space on my disk. Yeah, I have 41 gigs and this is a 50 gig game. Oh, to be fair, I have Detroit Becomes Human on. Wow. I have a lot of just heavy games on here though, so that makes sense. I'm gonna uninstall Life is Strange 2. I didn't quite finish my replay for it, but I want to give it space to breathe before I like start another replay. I would play Overcooked, but honestly I think playing Overcooked by yourself on Twitch is so sad. I just could not force myself through that. Okay, I have 160 gig. Oh, we may be able to actually play Resident Evil if I just have no other games downloaded. You know what I need? One of those things you connect games to out with your, what do you call it, an external hard drive, or maybe internal, I don't know. Something to store my fucking games on, because I ain't got room for this. A drive. I'll consider it. I'll consider it, for sure.